What if I told you that everything you think you know about chicken nuggets is wrong? That the frozen ones from the grocery store are a pale imitation, and even the famous fast food versions are holding back the best secrets from you? It's true. The perfect chicken nugget is not a mystery locked away in a corporate vault. It is an art form. And today, you are going to become a master. We are going on a culinary journey to create the absolute best homemade chicken nuggets you have ever tasted. And by the end of this video, you'll have a foolproof method to make nuggets that are unbelievably crispy on the outside, perfectly juicy on the inside, and packed with so much flavour, you'll never look at that drive-thru the same way again. So, grab your apron because things are about to get delicious. Before we dive in, let's appreciate the humble origins of our subject. The chicken nugget was actually invented by a food science professor named Robert C. Baker at Cornell University back in the 1950s. His innovation wasn't just frying pieces of chicken, it was about finding a way to form ground meat, create a batter that would stick through freezing and frying, and make a product that could be mass-produced and standardized. Of course, it was the fast food giants in the 1980s that made the nugget a global icon. They perfected a formula for speed and consistency. But in that process, something was lost. The connection to real, quality chicken and authentic flavour. Our mission today is to reclaim the nugget. We're using modern techniques to honour the convenience of the original concept, but elevate it to a gourmet level. This isn't about recreating a fast food item. It's about creating the ultimate version of it. Our journey begins with the most fundamental choice, the chicken itself. This is secret number 1, and it's a game changer. Most recipes will tell you to use boneless, skinless chicken breast. It's lean, it's easy, and it's what most people have on hand. But this is our first opportunity to leave mediocrity behind. The true secret to a mind-blowingly juicy nugget is chicken thigh. Boneless, skinless chicken thigh meat has a higher fat content, which translates directly to more flavour and a much more forgiving, tender texture. While breast meat can easily dry out during cooking, becoming chalky and bland, thigh meat stays succulent and rich. The intramuscular fat renders as it cooks, essentially basting the nugget from the inside out. This ensures that every single bite is moist and flavourful, a stark contrast to the often dry experience of a nugget made from 100% lean breast. If you absolutely must use breast, consider a blend of 70% breast and 30% thigh to get the best of both worlds. Now that we have our superior cut of chicken, we move to secret number 2, achieving the perfect texture. We are not just cubing the chicken and calling it a day. That gives you chicken chunks, not nuggets. We're also not throwing it all into a food processor and turning it into a uniform paste. The authentic, satisfying texture of a great nugget lies in a combination of textures. Here's how you do it. Take half of your chicken thigh meat and pulse it in a food processor until it's a coarse ground consistency, almost like ground beef. Take the other half and with a sharp knife meticulously mince it into very small, irregular pieces, no bigger than a pea. Now combine the ground half and the minced half in a bowl. This 2-part technique is revolutionary. The ground meat acts as a binder, holding everything together, while the small, hand-minced pieces provide substantial, meaty texture and a satisfying chew that you simply cannot get from a machine-only process. With our chicken perfectly prepared, we introduce secret number 3, the power of a strategic brine. Many people skip this, but it's what separates good from great. A brine is essential for 2 reasons. It tenderizes the meat on a cellular level, and it seasons the chicken from the inside out. Forget a simple saltwater solution. We are going for a flavour-packed brine. The 2 best options are buttermilk or pickle juice. Buttermilk contains enzymes and acids that gently break down the protein fibres in the chicken, resulting in an incredibly tender final product. Pickle juice, on the other hand, with its vinegar and salt base, does the same job but also imparts a subtle, tangy flavour that beautifully complements the richness of the chicken. Whichever you choose, submerge your prepared chicken mixture in the liquid for at least 30 minutes, but no more than 2 hours. This step ensures that the flavour isn't just on the crust, it's infused deep within every fibre of the meat. After our chicken has brined, it's time to drain it well and move on to secret number 4, the crucial first layer of seasoning. You cannot rely on the breading alone to carry the flavour. A truly exceptional nugget has a seasoned core. This is where we build the foundation of our taste profile. In a large bowl with your brined and drained chicken mixture, add a generous amount of seasoning. We are not being shy here. A baseline should include fine sea salt, freshly cracked black pepper, a healthy dose of garlic powder, and an equal amount of onion powder. These are the 4 pillars of savoury flavour. But to elevate it, we add a secret weapon, smoked paprika. Not sweet, not hot, but smoked. This adds a subtle smoky depth that mimics the complex flavours you might get from professional cooking methods, creating an immediate sense of, I can't quite put my finger on it, but this is amazing. Mix these seasonings thoroughly into the chicken until evenly distributed. Now we address the physical form of the nugget with secret number 5, the art of shaping. This isn't just about aesthetics, it's about function. The shape of your nugget directly impacts how evenly it cooks. You've probably seen the 4 classic fast food shapes: the ball, the boot, the bell, and the bone. While you can get creative, the principle is to maintain a relatively uniform thickness across each nugget, about ½ inch thick. This prevents a scenario where thin edges burn before the thick centre is cooked through. Use a small cookie scoop or a tablespoon to portion out the mixture for consistency. Lightly wet your hands with water or oil to prevent sticking, and then gently form each portion. Don't compress them too tightly. We want to maintain some of that lovely varied texture we created earlier. Aim for organic, slightly irregular shapes. This not only looks more rustic and homemade, but also creates more nooks and crannies for the delicious, crispy breading to cling to. This next step, secret number 6, might be the most overlooked and yet one of the most critical in the entire process, the flash freeze. Once all your nuggets are perfectly formed and placed on a parchment-lined baking sheet, you must put them in the freezer. They need to be in there for at least 15 minutes, and up to 30 minutes is even better. Why is this non-negotiable? 2 reasons. First, it firms up the nuggets significantly. This makes them much easier to handle during the breading process. A soft, pliable nugget will lose its shape and make a mess. A firm, cold nugget glides through the dredging station with ease. Second, and more importantly, the cold temperature of the nugget creates a better bond with the breading. When the cold nugget hits the warm frying oil, the crust sets almost instantly, adhering tightly to the chicken and creating a distinct barrier that locks in moisture. This single step is the primary defense against a soggy crust and a dry interior. While your nuggets are firming up in the freezer, it's time to prepare for the main event, the breading. Secret number 7 is all about setting up your dredging station for maximum efficiency and minimum mess. This is the classic 3-step breading process, and your organisation here will pay dividends. You need 3 shallow dishes or pans arranged in a line. The first dish will contain your seasoned flour mixture. The second will hold your egg wash. The third will be for your final breadcrumb coating. The key to a clean operation is the wet hand, dry hand technique. Use one hand, let's say your left, exclusively for handling the nugget when it's in the dry ingredients, flour and breadcrumbs. Use your other hand, your right, exclusively for transferring the nugget through the wet egg wash. By keeping one hand dry and one wet, you prevent the dreaded club hand, where your fingers become caked in a gummy paste of flour and egg. This simple discipline makes the process faster, cleaner, and far more enjoyable. Let's focus on that first dish in our station, which brings us to secret number 8, the spiked flour dredge. Never, ever use plain, unseasoned flour for your first coating. This is a massive missed opportunity for flavour. This initial flour layer is what the egg wash will cling to, so it needs to be more than just a bland powder. We are going to supercharge it. To your all-purpose flour, add a significant amount of cornstarch, about a 1:3 ratio of cornstarch to flour. The cornstarch is a miracle ingredient for crispiness. It fries up lighter and crunchier than flour alone. Then, and this is crucial, add the exact same seasoning blend you used in the chicken mixture: salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and smoked paprika. You are building layers of flavour. Every single component of the nugget, from the core to the crust, should be independently delicious. This ensures a final product that is savoury and complex through and through. Moving to the second dish, we unveil secret number 9, the upgraded egg wash. The purpose of the egg wash is to act as the glue between the flour-coated chicken and the final breadcrumb crust. Most people just crack a couple of eggs into a bowl and whisk them up. That's acceptable, but we're not aiming for acceptable. To create a superior egg wash, you need to thin it out slightly. A thick, gloopy egg wash will create a layer that's too thick, which can become soggy. Add a splash of either milk, buttermilk, or even just plain water to your whisked eggs. This thins the consistency, allowing for a more even, delicate coating that helps the breading adhere without becoming heavy. And for the master level touch, add a few dashes of your favourite hot sauce to the egg wash. You won't taste the heat in the final product, but the small amount of vinegar and spice in the hot sauce adds an imperceptible layer of complexity and brightness that elevates the entire nugget. Finally, we arrive at the third and most glorious dish, the source of the crunch, with secret number 10, the ultimate breading mixture. Standard breadcrumbs will give you a standard nugget. Panko, the Japanese-style breadcrumbs, are a significant step up. They are flakier and absorb less oil, leading to a crispier result. But the true secret to a shatteringly crisp, texturally fascinating crust is a custom blend. Start with panko as your base, then add something with a different structure. Crushed cornflakes are a classic choice, adding a wonderful sweetness and a robust crunch. You can also use crushed Rice Krispies for an incredibly light, airy texture. Or, for a truly decadent and savoury option, use finely crushed pork rinds. The combination of textures, the flaky panko, and the granular, hearty crunch of the cornflakes or pork rinds creates a crust that is dynamic and deeply satisfying. This isn't just a coating, it's an armour of pure, audible crispiness. A common question in the world of frying is whether a double dredge is better. This brings us to secret number 11, where we debunk the double dredge myth. The theory is that by taking your breaded nugget and running it back through the egg wash and breadcrumbs a second time, you'll create an extra thick, extra crispy crust. In some applications this works, but for our perfect nugget, it is a mistake. The problem is that it creates too much separation between the chicken and the outer crust. This can lead to the breading sloughing off in one big piece when you bite into it. Even worse, that thick layer of breading between the two crusts can fail to cook properly, resulting in a gummy, pasty layer hidden beneath the crispy exterior. A single, perfectly executed dredge, where you press the breading firmly onto the nugget to ensure a tight seal, is far superior. It gives you a crust that is one with the chicken, delivering a clean bite and a perfect ratio of meat to coating. You have successfully breaded your nuggets. They look beautiful. The temptation is to immediately move them to the hot oil. You must resist this urge. Secret number 12 is the post-breading rest, a brief but vital pause. Place your fully breaded nuggets onto a wire rack. Do not let them touch each other. Now let them sit at room temperature for about 10 minutes. You can even place the rack back in the refrigerator during this time. This resting period allows the coating to hydrate and form a more cohesive bond with the chicken. The moisture from the egg wash works its way into the dry breading, creating a sort of glue that solidifies the crust. When you fry a nugget that has had this chance to set, the breading is far more likely to stay intact, creating a seamless, perfectly golden shell. Skipping this step is one of the main reasons people complain about their breading falling off in the fryer. With our nuggets prepped and ready, we must now turn our attention to the cooking medium itself. This is secret number 13, navigating the great oil debate. The type of oil you use for frying has a massive impact on the final taste and texture of your food. You absolutely must use a neutral oil with a high smoke point. The smoke point is the temperature at which an oil begins to break down and burn, producing smoke and giving food an acrid, burnt flavour. Good choices include peanut oil, which has a wonderful nutty flavour and a very high smoke point, canola oil, vegetable oil, or grapeseed oil. These are all excellent for deep frying. You must avoid oils with low smoke points, like extra virgin olive oil. It will burn long before it reaches the proper frying temperature, ruining your nuggets and filling your kitchen with smoke. A quality, high smoke point oil is an investment in a clean-tasting, perfectly cooked final product. Choosing the right oil is only half the battle. Secret number 14 is about mastering the single most important variable in frying, the temperature. The magic number for frying our chicken nuggets is 350 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 175 degrees Celsius. There is very little wiggle room here. You absolutely need a thermometer to do this correctly. A deep fry thermometer or an instant read digital thermometer is essential. If your oil is too cold, say below 325 degrees, the nugget will sit in the oil for too long before the crust can set. It will absorb an excessive amount of grease, leading to a heavy, oily, and soggy result. If the oil is too hot, say above 375, the breading will darken and burn almost instantly, long before the chicken inside has had a chance to cook through. Perfect temperature is the key to the perfect golden brown colour and the juicy interior. You have your oil at the perfect temperature. You are ready to fry, but beware of a rookie mistake that can undo all your hard work. Secret number 15 is a simple rule. Do not crowd the pan. It is tempting to load up the fryer with as many nuggets as will fit to get the job done faster. This is a catastrophic error. Every time you add a cold or even room temperature nugget to the hot oil, the overall temperature of the oil drops. If you add too many nuggets at once, the temperature can plummet dramatically. Suddenly, your perfect 350-degree oil is now a lukewarm 300 degrees, and you're no longer frying your nuggets. You are boiling them in grease. You must work in small batches, adding only a few nuggets at a time, ensuring they have plenty of space around them. This allows the oil to maintain its temperature, instantly searing the crust and cooking the nuggets quickly and efficiently. Let's talk about the actual moment of cooking with secret number 16, the proper frying technique. When adding nuggets to the hot oil, do so gently. Use tongs or a spider strainer and lay them in the oil away from you to avoid any splashing. Once they're in, let them be for a minute or two. The crust needs a moment to set. The total cooking time will be around 4 to 6 minutes, depending on the exact size and thickness of your nuggets. You'll want to flip them halfway through to ensure even browning on all sides. Don't rely solely on a timer. Use your eyes. You're looking for a deep, rich, uniform golden brown colour. That is your primary indicator of doneness. Once they reach that perfect colour, they are ready. The chicken inside will be perfectly cooked and juicy, and the crust will be at its peak of crispiness. Overcooking by even a minute can start to dry out the interior. The nuggets are perfectly golden brown and cooked through. You lift them from the shimmering oil. What you do in these next 5 seconds is critical. This is secret number 17, the post-fry drain. Your instinct might be to place the hot nuggets onto a plate lined with paper towels to soak up the excess grease. This is a mistake. Paper towels do absorb oil, but they also trap steam. The steam rising from the hot nugget gets caught between the nugget and the paper towel, which will immediately begin to soften that beautiful, crispy crust you worked so hard to create. The correct method is to transfer the fried nuggets directly from the oil to a wire cooling rack placed over a baking sheet. This allows air to circulate all around the nugget, keeping the bottom crust just as crispy as the top. The excess oil will drip down onto the baking sheet below, achieving the same goal as paper towels without the risk of a soggy bottom. This brings us to our final flavour enhancement, secret number 18, the last second seasoning. As soon as your nuggets are resting on that wire rack, glistening and hot from the fryer, you must season them one last time. This is your moment. While they are still piping hot and covered in a thin layer of oil, sprinkle them with a very fine-grained salt, a flaky sea salt like Maldon, crushed between your fingers, or even popcorn salt works beautifully. Why now? The heat and residual oil on the surface of the nugget will act as a binder, making the salt cling perfectly to every part of the crust. This final hit of salinity makes the flavours pop. It's the same principle used for French fries and potato chips. That immediate post-fry salting is what makes them so addictive. It's a small detail that makes a world of difference, turning a delicious nugget into an unforgettable one. It's the professional touch that elevates your home cooking. Now, we must address the elephant in the room for many, the deep fryer. If you're looking for a healthier alternative, secret number 19 is for you, the baked or air-fried adaptation. The great news is that this recipe adapts beautifully. All the initial steps, the chicken choice, the grind, the brine, and the breading, remain exactly the same. For an air fryer, preheat it to 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 200 degrees Celsius. Arrange the nuggets in a single layer in the basket, making sure not to overcrowd it. Lightly spray the tops with a neutral cooking oil spray. Air fry for about 10 to 12 minutes, flipping them halfway through until they are golden brown and cooked through. For a conventional oven, preheat to 425 degrees. Place the nuggets on a wire rack set inside a baking sheet. This is key for air circulation. Spray with oil and bake for 15 to 20 minutes, flipping once. The result won't be quite as decadent as deep frying, but it will be incredibly crispy and delicious in its own right. A nugget is only as good as the sauce it's dipped in. This is our final revelation, secret number 20, the power of the perfect dipping sauce. Don't ruin your masterpiece by serving it with a bland, generic sauce from a bottle. Creating a signature homemade sauce is incredibly easy and takes your nugget experience to the next level. For a classic, creamy honey mustard, simply whisk together equal parts Dijon mustard, honey, and mayonnaise, with a tiny splash of apple cider vinegar to brighten it up. For a smoky, spicy aioli, mix mayonnaise with a minced garlic clove, a teaspoon of that smoked paprika we used earlier, and a dash of hot sauce or sriracha. Even a simple fry sauce, made from ketchup and mayo, is a classic for a reason. Taking 2 minutes to whip up a fresh, vibrant sauce shows that you cared about the entire experience, from the first step of preparation to the very last dip. So there you have it, 20 secrets to transforming simple chicken into the most incredible homemade nuggets imaginable. We went deeper than just a recipe. We talked about the science of using chicken thigh for juiciness, the importance of the 2-part grind for texture, the critical flash freeze for a perfect crust, the science of ideal oil temperature, and that final crucial hit of salt. The biggest secret of all, it's not just one step. It's the symphony of all these small, deliberate details working together that creates something truly special. It's about taking back control from the fast food giants and proving that you can make a version at home that is infinitely better. Thank you so much for joining me on this culinary adventure. If you learned something new or you're feeling inspired to make these yourself, do me a favour and hit that like button and subscribe for more recipes that will ruin restaurant food for you forever in the best way possible. And let me know in the comments, what is your absolute all-time favourite dipping sauce for chicken nuggets? I'm always looking for new ideas to try. Now go get cooking.